Hello and thank you for joining me today for this video. I was actually gonna film a tutorial today, but I decided spontaneously instead to film this video. So this is gonna be a video about the goal setting template that you might have seen me post. So I made this just yesterday and I probably already posted it by the time this video will be coming out. But I wanted to talk to you about what is it, why I do it, and give you some tips on how to use it yourself. So I want to start by telling you that this year I actually accomplished one of my biggest dreams that I couldn't even imagine in the beginning of last year that it's actually gonna happen this year, and it actually was super successful, which is launching my beauty brand. And yeah, it's kind of weird calling it a beauty brand at this point because it's just a lipstick and a brush, but I'm currently working on producing about like 10 new products. I just jumped from like 1 or 2 products to like a full line, so that's gonna come out in the spring, I guess. But anyway, I'm telling you this because I wanted to share with you that one of the reasons I am able to accomplish like dreams that seem kind of impossible is because I kind of set my dreams and goals and sit down and think about it and write it down. And I do this process usually once a year, maybe more, depends. This is something that I learned about 10 years ago when I just started my journey as a freelancer and as a business owner. If you don't know, I'm a professional makeup artist and hairstylist, and I've been one for the last 10 years. When I first started, I'm sorry, I'm going on a like different storyline right now, but I just want to quickly let you know that before I was a makeup artist and before I started my way as a freelancer, I was actually working in high tech. It was really hard for me at first to kind of make this transition, especially financially, because I was already at a young age feeling like, you know, like independent financially, and like I was worth like a big salary or stuff just because I started pretty young in a pretty high paying like industry. Anyway, at first when I just became a freelancer, like my bank account was all the time empty and I was really stressing out about it. So I was always kind of like hesitant, like if I should go back or if I should keep going. So I would actually like be a full-time makeup artist and at the same time like continue sending out resumes to like high-tech companies because I was very insecure about how I would ever like be able to make money. And then when I would actually go to a job interview, I would be really bad at convincing them that I wanted this job because I wasn't convinced myself. So it was just like a waste of time and I wasn't putting all my energy in my actual freelance career that I was passionate about. So I started the process with a like life coach, I guess. I'm not sure what the correct term is. One of the things we did towards more like the end of this process is start writing down a vision. Again, I'm not sure like this is the correct term in English, but I think it kind of means the same. A vision meaning like set a time frame. In this case, I think it was like 5 or 10 years or something like that, of like what do you want to accomplish, how your life looks, more like in a present kind of like I am living in this place, I am doing this thing. So that's when I started doing these kinds of like setting goals or like creating visions or stuff like that. Wow, it sounds like so like spiritual, but it's actually kind of the opposite. It is spiritual in a sense like of believing in yourself. It means like you set kind of high expectation goals that at the present moment when you're writing it, it doesn't seem very realistic, but like it actually works, because when you set a goal, at least like you know this is your goal. Now you actually admitted like this is what I want to do, because sometimes that's like the hardest part to say like you know I'm delusional, I wanna start a beauty brand, you know? So stuff like that, if you actually admit it to yourself and write it down and kind of start specifying what it looks like and what it means to you, it will actually help it come true. Not because of like The Secret and all that kind of stuff, maybe it's the same thing and I just don't know, but it's not like super spiritual. It's more about setting intentions and knowing what you want and actually being more focused about it. So that's why I do this kind of like goal setting and like vision writing or whatever. So anyway, because this works so well for me, also last year I did one that is like downloadable to my followers, and this year I decided to do it again. I changed it up a bit, so it's a bit shorter in terms of like the amount of different fields of your life, so it's easier to not be overwhelmed by it. So it looks kind of like this. This one is actually one that I made that has some prompts in it. So if you're just looking like at this empty page and you're not sure what to do, you have this one, so you have some ideas like what to write in each section, and the sections are personal, health, career, finances, social life, and habits. So this as well, even without the prompts, can really help you find inspiration, what to write as your goals, because it's not just, you know, sitting in front of a blank page, but you actually have some like different fields, so you can get inspiration just from that, or you can use the prompts. To receive this downloadable goal setting template, you just have to join my mailing list, and I will send it out on New Year's Eve, so make sure to join the mailing list before that. A few more tips I want to give you. As I already kind of mentioned, you don't have to be like too realistic when you're writing them down. Of course, like some amount of realistic is good, but it's better to try not to limit yourself. As example, if you're looking at your income, sorry, this is like my first this is my first example, but if you're thinking like what are your earning goals and you have a range, usually it's better to write like the higher range, so you don't kind of like limit yourself in your thinking of what is possible. Kind of when you're writing it down, come to it in like a positive state of mind and try to break down all the limits and not think like how you're gonna accomplish those things, just like what you want. The how you can do later, you know, one by one, because if you're starting to write all your goals and already thinking how you're gonna do it, it's gonna be way more overwhelming. Also, I personally like to do it in the beginning of a new year or at the end of a year, just because it kind of puts a time frame on it, and also it's a good time to go back and kind of read your previous goal setting journal or page or whatever, because that way you can see how much progress you made, like what things you didn't maybe accomplish, and if you wanna add them to your list, or like your goals changed, which is completely normal and okay as well. So anyway, I hope you like this template and you find it useful. So to be honest, and I hope I won't go on a rant that is too long, because I do have this tendency lately in my personal life to go on rants, but I just came across this trend on YouTube of femininity channels that guide you how to be more feminine, and they don't just concentrate on like how you look. They're kind of talking about how you present yourself, how you talk, how, you know, like kind of talking about everything from like the male perspective and the male gaze. So I was just thinking about like my beauty channel and me making a lot of videos that are about like beauty and vintage inspired looks and pinup, and I just want to make sure I'm not giving the wrong impression. Like me being into like feminine aesthetic or like vintage aesthetic doesn't mean I agree with kind of gender roles, like traditional gender roles, or with like, you know, vintage values or anything like that. I think you can look, you know, how you want and you can dress how you want, but it doesn't mean that you're supposed to conform to like feminine ideas of like your place in the world. You can and should be ambitious and motivated and productive, and don't think there is a limit on how much you should earn or anything like that because of, you know, what society expects. I think it's very important not to think that because you like to look feminine or something like that, you have to act feminine, which means like not be assertive or not be ambitious or not earn as much as men or even more, hopefully. And especially in vintage and pinup aesthetics, it doesn't mean I or a lot of the people in this community want vintage values or for women to be how they used to be, real women, or, you know, like racism. So of course there is this hashtag on Instagram which is vintage style, not vintage values, and if you know this hashtag you understand exactly what I'm talking about, but if not, I just wanted to make sure you don't mistake my aesthetic, or if you wanna adopt this kind of aesthetic to being more submissive or wanting to be like a housewife, which is not wrong. I'm just saying like dressing like this doesn't mean this is what I wanna be. I wanna be a boss lady and I wanna have employees and I wanna, you know, make the world better and empower other women, and like those are my goals. So because of that, and because I mainly have a female audience, which is completely intentional, I don't care about men. So because of those reasons, I also want to help you kind of empower yourself and set goals and be ambitious and productive. I hope you like this kind of different content coming from me. If you do, please let me know. Maybe write a comment or like this video, just so I have kind of a little sign that you like this direction and you want to see more of these kinds of videos. I'm really a person who is obsessed with goals and productivity and just becoming a better person in general. So if you want me to do more videos about general stuff like that, and maybe some tips in those kind of areas, maybe about being a freelancer, let me know so I keep making them. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an amazing and productive year, and see you on the next video. Kisses!